Okay, starting A5 day 2, like I said, just another formula, and what's going to happen is, say, if you try to set up the proportions like we did yesterday, you're going to find that you don't have enough information to do it. So you can try all you want to do the easy proportions. You're not going to be able to set them up today, because when you set them up, you're going to have two unknowns in there. It's not going to work for you. So when that happens, we can use this one. It's called the law of cosines. It is used to solve any triangle if side, side, side is given, or side, angle, side is given. So, if we've got, where am I at here? Side, angle, side. You're going to find a missing side first. So if we've got A, B, C, little a, little b, little c. So let's just say I know little c, little b, and angle A. So I've got a SAS situation. I've got little c, little b, and little a. What we're going to do is find the missing side. What's the missing side? Little a. And the formula to find little a is that little a squared equals. It's each of the sides that I know squared. So that's b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times the cosine of angle A. So is that formula a little bit more complicated than the proportions from yesterday?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Why do we need to know this?
But it's still, you know b, you know little b, you know little c, you know angle A, and it goes right through there. You square each of the two sides you know and add them, then you subtract 2 times b times c times the cosine of A. This is all multiplied at the end here. Maybe we'll put a little time sign in there. Okay.
Kill like the guy who did
No,
this?
no killing.
Like,
Let's go, move on. This time I'm going to switch it up. See if you can give me the formula without me telling you. This time I'm going to start with C and A and angle B. So that's my SAS situation, side, angle, side. What side's missing that I'm going to find? I know A and I know C, so the side that's missing is little b. So to figure out little b, what do you think the formula is going to tell me to do? This one says square the two sides that you know. What two sides do I know? A and C. So it's a squared plus c squared minus, and then it's 2 times that a times that c multiplied by the cosine of which angle did I know? B. And then there's only one other situation, and that would be if I know little a, little b, and angle C. If I have those three pieces known, what side would I be able to find? Little c. And the formula says little c squared equals, what do I do with the two sides that I know? Square them and add them. So that's a squared plus b squared. Then I subtract 2 times a times b times the cosine of what angle did I know? C. All right. So that's if I've got SAS sitting in front of me. The other situation I might have is I know all three sides, side, side, side. So to find the missing side, we're just going to rearrange this formula here. We're going to do the algebra over here once, and then we're going to write the other two. Yes?
Yeah.
What do you want, Austin?
You want to come here real quick?
No.
Yeah.
Will you come here?
No.
What do you want?
You guys need help.
With what?
Homework.
I can't do that right now. Come back at the end.
But it's awesome.
I can't do it right now. I'm
Content.
teaching.
Look at Troy.
I don't even know what to do with
that.
See if they can do it.
No, we gotta come back at the end. Give me 20 minutes here and come back. I'll help you.
20 minutes?
At least 20. Go away. You're distracting. That's why you don't take math online. Math online's a bad choice. I don't know, at least you had a teacher.
We have a 5%.
There we go. Math online is never a good choice. If you want to go online, an English class, a history class,
I don't want to get Zoom next year. Yeah.
anything like that's okay. Math online, never a good choice. Never a good choice.
Good choice in gym.
Math online, I don't think it works very well.
I don't want Drew next year.
I don't know what to tell you.
I should take advanced data. Or, yeah, advanced data.
Yeah, I don't-
I
Okay.
don't want Drew. I'm gonna-
Back to this. Okay, let's take this first one, write it off to the side here, because all we're going to do is rearrange this and solve for the cosine of A. You're going to tell me the algebra steps. So we have A squared equals B squared plus C squared.
What is that? You need to move it over.
Oh, yep. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C times the cosine of angle A. And our goal is to solve this equation for the cosine of A. So I want this to stay here. I want everything else to get kicked to the other side of the equation. How do I start kicking everything to the other side of the equation? What am I going to subtract? I'm going to subtract this B squared. I'm going to subtract the C squared. So I'm going to subtract both of those for the first step. So subtract B squared, subtract C squared. When I do that, on the left-hand side now I have A squared. Then I'm going to subtract B squared and C squared. What's left over here on the right? I still have this negative 2 times B times C times the cosine of angle A. So I want to leave this here. How do I get rid of that negative 2 times B times C? You divide, because that's all multiplied by the cosine of A. So we're going to divide by negative 2 times B times C. And there's our formula. This all cancels out. The cosine of A equals A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. Okay, what I want you to notice in this formula, yeah, is that the angle A, notice the very first side that I've got here, that squared is little a squared. Then I subtract the other two. Because both of these are subtracted, I could switch the order here. I could have A squared minus C squared minus B squared. And then the B and the C are down here. But the important thing is that the angle you have, that's the side you have to start with up here in this numerator part. So, our first formula is the cosine of A. And we're just going to write down what we had here. A squared, subtract B squared, subtract C squared, all divided by negative 2 times B times C. Okay, let's write down the other two without doing all the algebra.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you think it'd be a little quicker?
So now, let's do cosine of B. Let's see what the cosine of B is going to equal. Okay, so according to my formula, what's my side that has to start this numerator? Little b squared. Then what am I subtracting? Subtracting a squared and subtracting c squared. Alec,
Sorry.
there's a reason why you don't do well. You're only half focused.
Everything yesterday.
Oh, wow, focused. And then the bottom is the other two sides, the negative 2 times the a times the c. And then our last one is the cosine of angle C. What's going to start the formula on top? Little c squared. Then you subtract the other two. Does it matter whether I put A first or B first? No, because they're both subtracted. So I'll just go minus B squared minus C squared. Oh, not C squared. A squared. Minus B squared minus A squared all over negative 2, and then what two sides are in the bottom? A and B, the second two. Okay, now all we're going to do is practice this formula. And it's more calculator challenging than anything. So have a calculator in your hand. If you don't have one, go get one. D, E, F, because I'm not going to use A, B, and C all the time, so you just kind of have to know how the formula works. Let's go 18 as a side length, 16 as a side length, 21 degrees. And I'm going to ask you to find side DE. What's another name for side DE? Little f. Okay, let's just say you like those proportions from yesterday, that law of sines. Could you set up the proportions here? Let's check. I know 18. Do I know angle D across from it? No. I've got 16. Do I know angle E? No. You have to know a pair, an angle and a side, to do those easy proportions from yesterday. So you could try to do yesterday's, but you're not going to get very far. So what three parts do I have here? Side, angle, side. So I'm looking for little f. So I'm up here with these formulas. I'm trying to find a missing side. So let's write the formula out first. Well, actually, no, let's just... So instead of A, B, and C, I've got an f. So let's go f squared equals... Oh, yeah. What does the formula at the top tell me to do? I'm using this formula right here. Where do I get what would be little a and little b? What do those represent? The two sides that I know. What two sides do I know? What are they? The 18 and the 16. So I'm going to be adding those together. Does it matter which one I write first? Not when I'm adding. So 18 squared plus 16 squared. What's the next part of the formula tell me to do? Subtract 2 times what? 18 times 16 times the cosine. What angle do I know? 21. Okay. This will give me f squared. Type that all in one long line on your calculator. Everybody should practice to make sure their calculators, how they work. Because some of those generic calculators you got on your phones don't work very well here. And you have to do it in parts. I would if you have one of the generic ones that isn't working the best, download a nice graphing one. You got a negative number. You got a generic calculator. Okay, I just typed the whole thing in one long line. 18 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 18 times 16 times the cosine of 21.
That's a long decimal.
Okay, but watch. I've got 42. Anybody problems out there?
That's 40. Yeah.
Okay. That's f squared. How do I get f from f squared? Square root. Square root on both sides. Square root of the last answer. Okay, we got to make sure everybody can work their calculators now. Okay, you need help. There's always this option where you use your calculator and do 2 times 18 times 16 times the cosine of 21. Get that number there. Yours shouldn't have a problem doing this all in one line, though, but go ahead and do this. Do this last part. Equals? Okay, so now do 18 squared plus 16 squared minus that answer. Okay. So, but I don't know, yours seems like it should do the whole thing in one line. Try it again. Try it all in one line. Anybody else issues? I can get up and help you.
Yeah, I'm not getting this. I'm getting
Okay.
300.
I'm getting.
Well, you've got a graphing calculator. Oh, you might be in the wrong mode though.
I'm using this kind of.
Yeah, but the mode might be not be right.
I'm doing really, really good with it.
Yours should have no problem typing that whole thing in one line too.
Yeah, most students,
Type it in again. Wrong number. Type your, start at the beginning.
yeah, do it.
What? Minus 2 times 18 times 16 times cosine. Yeah, anybody else?
I got it working with you.
Okay, everybody's good? All right. So just gonna practice that formula. Okay. K, L, M. We've got 15, 10, and 8. What three parts do I have? Side, side, side. That tells me I have to use law of cosines. This time I'm asking you to find the measure of angle K. So that means I'm going to be using one of these bottom formulas. They're all the same formula, just with different letters in them. They're all the same. They're identical. And they're all the same. So the point that I tried to make over here is that when I'm finding angle A, I got to start with little a. B, I have to start with little b. And then C, you've got to start with little c. So whatever angle you're trying to find, that's the side you have to start with in the numerator. That's the key to the whole formula here. So, I'm trying to find angle K. So what's my formula going to start out with? Cosine of angle K equals. Okay, what does that formula tell me to do in the numerator? What side do I need squared first? What numbers am I going to use? I have to use the 10. I have to use the side across from the angle first. So it's 10 squared. Then what does the formula tell you to do? Subtract the other two sides and square them. So what should my next value be? Minus, does it matter which one? No. 15 squared minus 8 squared. Then we're going to divide by, what's in the denominator of that formula? They all have a -2. And where do I get these two numbers from? It's the two that were subtracted. The two in the bottom always match the two that were subtracted. So it's -2 times what? 8 and 15. Okay, so in order to type this in one line, like I can draw it, you can see what the numerator is and the denominator is. Calculator can't. We have to put parentheses in here to do it in one line. Where do you think I need parentheses at? Around the top. So it does the whole top. That says do this numerator. And then around the whole bottom. And when you do this, that's going to be the cosine ratio. So we won't be done yet. We'll do another step. Okay, try it. I want everybody trying it. Use parentheses. If you don't have parentheses, you've got a really old calculator, then you've got to work out the top, write that number down, work out the bottom, write that number down, and then divide those two answers. So I'm going to use parentheses. and then use parentheses are on the bottom. Make sure you use a -2, not the subtract key. I get 0.7875. Got that, Heavenly? All right. How do I get the calculator to tell me what angle K is now that I know the cosine ratio for angle K? The inverse. So to get angle K, you're going to type in the inverse cosine of that 0.7875. Inverse cosine of my last answer, 38-degree angle. Once you get the hang of these, they aren't bad. We're just going to practice 2 more of them, one of each. One finding a side and one finding another angle.
Wait, how do you put the cosine?
You got to use your second, the yellow key, and right above the cosine key. All right, I'm going to have you set this next one up after I give you the values. Yep. All right, let's go. X, Y, Z. Ten, 4, and 34 degrees. Okay, I'm asking you to find ZY. What's another name for side ZY? Little x. I've got SAS, and I'm trying to find a side. So if you look back, we're using these top formulas. I want you to write the first line out what you think goes where with the numbers. Trying to find a side. So you're going to start your formula with x squared equals. See if you, I'll leave this here so you don't have to flip back. I want to see if you can do it on your own. Oh. I want to see if you can write that line out on your own.
That's 34.
34, yep. So sides are 10 and 4 and the angle is 34. Go ahead, see if you can do it without any guidance. Alright, there you go. There's the formula up here. All 3 of these are the same formula. Everybody write something yet? Kristen, did you write something? Yes, please tell me what you wrote.
X squared equals 10 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 10 times 4 times the cosine of 34.
You are awesome today. I see a much better grade for you on Friday on the quiz. That is correct. She took the 2 sides and squared them and added them. Then it's minus 2 times those 2 sides times the cosine of the angle. And now it's 1 line on the calculator to get x squared. Go ahead, 1 line, if you can do it in 1 line. If you've got the right kind of calculator to do it. Otherwise, do it in steps. How about 49.68? And what do I need to do to get x?
Take the square root.
Take the square root. 7.05 for a side length. So not bad today? It's just a little bit more, the formula's a little bit uglier. We're not going to skip the last one. It's finding an angle. So we practiced the formula, each formula twice. Hopefully that's enough. So let's go P, Q, R. Let's make the numbers ugly. 5.9, 9.6, 10.5. And I am asking you to find angle R. So it starts out cosine of r, and Mr. Young, what do you need?
You left.
Oh, he left. Okay, go ahead. Set it up for finding angle R. It does matter what number goes first. Alec Myron, did you get that written down already?
No.
No, why not?
Because isn't it like a, you gotta pick which one.
They're all the same. And we're down here, we're finding the angle. So you're going to use one of, no, all three of these are the same.
So, will you just, would it be R squared?
It would be, write it down, you are correct. We'll give you a second. And I'm going to ask, if you're confident, go ahead and do your calculator work, but... Hannah, did you get it written down?
I'm working on it now.
Yeah, put the phone down. Looks like, are you working on it, or are you texting, are you... Oh, calculator, nice. Thought you were texting away up there. Ready to tell me what you got, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Then wouldn't it just be like,
What'd you have first? What number did you write down first here?
I don't know, 9.
Yep, 9.6 squared. Then it says subtract. What did you subtract?
Would it be? Would it be 10.5?
Yep, 10.5 squared. Then what do you subtract?
5.9.
Yep. And then in the bottom, you've got a -2. And where do I get the other two numbers that are down in the bottom?
Would it just be 10.5 and
Uh-huh.
5.9?
And then the one thing to remember that's not in the formula are the parentheses, because we can physically draw it and see what's the top and what's the bottom. The calculator can't do that. So you've got to put parentheses here, around the top, and around the bottom. Okay, go ahead and let your fingers do the walking. What do I get? How's your calculator working for you today, Hannah? Did you figure out that inverse yet?
No, I didn't.
No, okay, I'll tell you what to do.
Very like this.
Any problems getting that .42 number? If you did, try it again. You didn't get it. And now how do I get R? Inverse cosine of that decimal. Inverse cosine of my last answer. About 65 degrees. Okay, let me get you your assignment and then I'll help you with calculator issues.
Yeah, I need help. I definitely messed
Can
up.
we get like a calculator you talk to it?
Oh, they probably have those.
Or take it.
Like you just, yeah, you take.
But yeah, your phones, there's tons of free calculator apps out there that work just like these graphing calculator ones, identical, and they're free. Just download a good one and have it.
Yeah, same here.
You got what?
Well,
Did you put parentheses around the top and around the bottom?
I did.
Well, there you go. Parentheses. Well, I'll come and help you. Page 573. 26, no. Nope, that was what we did yesterday. 574, I'm on the wrong day.
574.
574, 32 to 38, 40, 46, 51 to 53. Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
Of course.